first aspect I would like to touch is the cooling. A very important aspect when you look into hydraulic machines. We want the hydraulic oil as well as the water to be at ideal operating temperature, not to be overheating. So our coolers are all mounted side by side. That means turbo intercooler, water radiator, and hydraulic oil cooler. Behind the three coolers, there is a fan that's hydraulically driven and is reversible. That means depending on any one of these three temperatures or on a timer, that fan will turn in the opposite direction and will clean the coolers. And the holes in this protection are smaller than the distance between the fins on the radiator. So ideally, everything will accumulate outside. When that fan blows in the opposite direction, we get all the dirt out and reduce the operating temperature back to ideal levels. Continuing back here, as you can see, the engine is mounted on the side. What that allows is a very simple maintenance. The AC compressor, the starter, the alternator, all the filters, they are all easily accessible. So all the maintenance that you'll be doing will be done from the ground. The only reason to climb on top are the hydraulic oil filters that have to be changed at 2,000 hours. So apart from that, all your work will be done here from the ground. As you can see over there, there are some red LEDs that are lit, right? What that means is that circuit is energized. So that simplifies drastically the troubleshooting of the equipment, because you know if that function is not working and that LED is on, the cables are okay, the switch is okay, power is getting there, so it's either the solenoid coil or it's the valve itself. So these are things we do to improve uptime and to reduce the troubleshooting time. This is a Cummins 4-cylinder Tier 4 engine. The after treatment system is mounted on top. The steps to access the upper carriage, they are on both sides. That means you don't have to position the upper carriage only in one direction. Any one of both directions, you can easily access the upper carriage. The outriggers are controlled individually, so you can ideal position yourself in an uneven terrain. Here we have a central lubrication system, right? That means that from the swing bearing all the way to the tip of the stick, the complete machine is lubricated continuously during the day. That means instead of greasing in the morning and not receiving any grease during the whole day, continuously during your operating day, every single pin and bushing is receiving grease. Next are the test ports. We don't have electronic controls. We are all hydraulically controlled, what simplifies troubleshooting again. That means you have a pressure gauge that you connect here, and by measuring pressures, you'll find which circuit has a problem or which circuit needs attention. Under this cover, we have all the low pressure valves, means everything that's related to the control system is mounted here. It's centralized here, again, easy to troubleshoot. Here we have the DEF tank. Tier 4 final engines require injection of DEF in the exhaust system. And here we have the electric panel. Every single relay, every single fuse in this machine is mounted in this panel. Again, centralized, simplifying troubleshooting. Even we have on top some spare fuses. Every single relay has a part number on it. A simple way to order parts. If you look around, every single valve will have the part number either stamped or with a label. So if you know that that's the valve that you need to order, you don't have to go in the parts books or in the hydraulic diagram. You just look on the parts and you can find the right part number. On the back of the cover, you have the diagram showing every fuse, every relay, as well as the function. Again, simplify troubleshooting, simplify maintenance. And then here we have the circuit breakers. We don't use main fuses, we use circuit breakers. Means if you have any short in the circuit breaker will pop up. You need to find the reason and then push, as well as the main disconnect switch, the main battery disconnect switch. Looking up, we have the railings all around. As I said, the only reason to go there is to change the hydraulic oil filters every 2,000 hours. But despite this fact, we have full protection so that nobody can fall from the top of the upper carriage. For transportation, you just remove the bolts on the hinges that are halfway on the railing and just flip the railing down. So it's a very simple job. Flip both sides and move the rear protection across, and then the highest point will be the top of the cab, so reduce drastically the height of the machine. We have a sliding door, what allows us to have this catwalk with full railings. So whenever you get up to the machine, you have 3 points of contact all the way. You walk in the catwalk and you get in the cab. This is a huge difference compared to most equipment available on the market today that have a hinging door where you cannot have a catwalk with railings. Inside the cab, of course, air conditioning, heating, an air suspended seat, a heated seat, ideal operating conditions. The cab elevates up to an eye level of the operator of 18 feet. On top of elevating, the cab tilts back 30 degrees. So if you're working on a high tree, you can position yourself in an ideal position for visibility. From here you can see the main control valve. It's placed extremely high in the upper carriage, and the advantage of that is that you can easily do any maintenance, any adjustments you have to do. Most of the equipment, the main control valve is buried inside the machine. It's very difficult to access. Here is at that high level. We tried and achieved a simulation of a human hand with our system that connects the grapple to the machine. That means we have a tilter here that tilts up and down 90 degrees. And we have on top of it a rotator that rotates 140 degrees in one direction, 140 degrees in the other direction. So that allows you to get exactly to that position where you have to work, grab the tree and cut. The lubrication points for the undercarriage. That means every single point that's not a rotating like the shafts. The shaft you have to go underneath, but everything else is lubricated centrally here. So that again simplifies the maintenance, right? The only other lubrication points are these two joints on the outriggers. Because as many things fall on the outriggers, it's very difficult to put tubing there. It will be more damage than anything else. But most of the points are centrally lubricated there. Again, as I said before, these steps are in the front and in the back. So as long as you are in line, you can climb to the upper carriage. 3 points of contact all the way through, as well as the protection railings. On top of the upper carriage, you have the hydraulic oil tank in the center. In the hydraulic oil tank, you have the return filter, and that's the only filter that has to be changed every 2,000 hours. Additionally, we have a 3-micron hydraulic oil filter as well, and the goal of that filter is to keep dirt and water out of the system. It is connected to the pilot system. And what that does, being connected to the pilot system, is as soon as the engine is running, that pump is turning and that filter is filtering the hydraulic oil in the machine. So keeping as a kind of a kidney filter, cleaning the oil all the time as soon as the engine is running.